The empire that ruled the stars, the galaxy, had never seen anything like the Valrain Empire. Their banners stretched across 100,000 worlds, their war fleets blacked out suns, and the names of their war masters were whispered like curses. In conquered cities, for 10,000 years, the Valrine had expanded outward, breaking every civilization that stood in their way. Their doctrine was simple: the strong conquer, the weak are forgotten. Admiral Zephyr stood in his private chamber on the star fortress Karza, gazing at the swirling nebulae through a window of armored crystal. His mind wasn't on the endless reports scrolling past his desk, but on a word he'd read just hours before. A human word. Cooperation. It had seemed so simple, almost laughable at first, but it kept coming back, like a tune he couldn't get out of his head. His door hissed open. War Master Kethel entered without the slightest sign of deference. The old Valrine's golden armor gleamed, his 4 eyes hard as diamond. Admiral, this delay is foolish. We should destroy the humans now, before their ideas spread to the... Prue. Zephyr barely glanced at him. What ideas, Kethel? They're just words, dangerous words, Kethel growled. Already I hear officers talking about problem-solving and alliances. This is not the Valrine way. We crush, we take, we do not ask. Before the Admiral could answer, the door slid open again and Engineer Yethman hurried in, a tablet clutched in her thin hands. Sir, forgive the interruption, but I have a proposal. Zephyr gestured for her to speak. Let us test these humans properly. Give them challenges, military, technical, cultural. If they fail, we destroy them. If they succeed, ... She hesitated. Perhaps we learn something new. War Master Kethel snorted in disbelief. And if they infect us with their weakness? Yethman shook her head. I have watched their transmissions, sir. There is a strength and adaptability in building together. Let us see what they can do when pushed, Zephyr considered. Testing was the Valrine way. Every new weapon, every new strategy, every conquered species. He nodded. 3 challenges, then. Choose the best of their kind. Within hours, messengers sped through the Empire. Across the void, a transmission reached Earth's Space Command, an invitation and a threat. The best of humanity would stand before the mightiest empire in the galaxy. The eyes of countless worlds watched as the stage was set for a trial that would change history. The trial of war and ingenuity. The war room of the Valrine flagship was a cathedral of death. Holographic stars drifted in the darkness, each a potential battleground. Lieutenant Commander Sam Turner, the youngest tactical officer in the United Terran Navy, stood alone before a wall of ancient Valrine warlords. His palms sweated, but his eyes were clear. Across from him, War Master Kethel took his position, towering over the human with a sneer. You command a small fleet. I command a real one. Your goal is to defend this system. My goal is to conquer it. Turner took a slow breath, remembering every lesson from simulations and late-night strategy games back on Earth. The simulation began. Hundreds of Valrine warships appeared in perfect formation, like an unstoppable tidal wave. Turner's own fleet was dwarfed 20 ships against 200. Instead of a head-on fight, Turner scattered his force. Ships darted around the edge of the system, hiding among asteroid belts, flickering in and out of nebulae, always avoiding direct engagement. When the Valrine vanguard advanced, they found only empty space. Coward, Kethel snarled, pounding the virtual table. Stand and fight like a warrior. Turner ignored him. The first attack came not at the main fleet, but at a supply convoy in the rear. A series of hit-and-run raids crippled communications and fuel depots. Valrine warships turned to pursue, only to find themselves lost in asteroid fields where ships struck from every angle. For hours the game went on, a dance of deception and misdirection. Finally, Kethel cornered Turner's main force near a gas giant. The human ships were outnumbered 10-1. Kethel grinned, savoring the simulated slaughter. But Turner broadcast on all channels, "Attention Valrine fleet. Your supplies are Destroyed, your communications down, your fuel running low. You can destroy my ships, but you cannot complete your mission. The system is unconquered. Kethel's fleet could win the battle, but without supplies, they couldn't hold the system. The simulation ended. Engineer Yethman, observing, announced, Lieutenant Commander Turner has achieved his objective. The system remains unconquered. Kethel fumed. This is not victory. He avoided real combat. He achieved his objective, Yethman repeated. Sometimes survival is victory enough. Meanwhile, in the engineering wing, Dr. Alex Chun sat across from Yethman, both surrounded by schematics and half-built machines. Their task, build a new power source for a space station. Yethman, true to Valrine tradition, designed the largest, most powerful generator possible. Her device would power a city for centuries, but if it failed, everything would go dark. Chun's approach was different. He designed several smaller generators, modular, redundant, adaptable. Any could be taken offline for repair. Others could be added as needed, and the system could grow over time. Your design is inefficient, Yethman said, brow furrowed. Mine produces more power, but what if yours breaks down? Chun asked. Nothing is perfect. My system is more reliable and can change as needs change. Yethman studied the blueprints, mind spinning. Valrine systems were never meant to change after construction. This was new, unsettling, but fascinating. When the test ended, Chun's model survived every simulated disaster, while Yethman's failed catastrophically when its main core overloaded. For the first time, the Valrine considered a design that could adapt. Diplomacy, doubt, and dangerous ideas. In the mediation hall, Ambassador Helen Ross faced two Valrine client species, the Cathar and the Valoni. They'd been at war for centuries over a mineral-rich planet. Every Valrine judge before her had failed choosing whichever side was stronger in the moment, only for the conflict to flare up again. Ross listened as both delegations made their case. She asked careful questions, seeking not just what they wanted, but what they needed. After hours of tense debate, she made her offer. Why not share the planet? The Cathar are skilled explorers. Let them map and survey. The Valoni have the mining technology. Let them handle extraction. Share the profits. Cooperate. A stunned silence fell. The solution was so foreign to Valrine thinking that neither side spoke for a minute. Then, slowly, the delegates nodded. A treaty was drafted. The centuries-old war was over. Back in the council chamber, Valrine leaders watched the result with unease. Unnatural, muttered Kethel. They refuse to accept our ways. Yethman looked thoughtful. Or perhaps they see possibilities we do not. Rumors spread. Officers debated, should the Empire adapt or crush these new ideas? Some saw opportunity. Others feared collapse. Admiral Zeffler began to feel the ground shifting beneath his feet. For the first time in his career, he was uncertain what was right. Cracks in the Empire. As the sun set over Karza, Zeffler walked the silent halls, his mind troubled. In his office, he opened records from the Empire's earliest days. For every threat destroyed, every species crushed, there was a note. Stagnation followed. Innovation lost. The price of strength was stagnation. Elsewhere, Yethman tinkered with Chun's modular generator designs, finding inspiration. In redundancy and flexibility, what if Valrine technology could grow and change instead of remaining static forever? Kethel, meanwhile, replayed the war simulation over and over, searching for the flaw in Turner's strategy. He found none. The rules had changed, and he didn't know how to fight this new kind of war. The officer corps split quietly. Some experimented with human ideas. Others reported their colleagues for subversive thinking. The Empire was fracturing, its future uncertain. A secret meeting of the council was called. Some argued to destroy humanity before the infection spread. Others insisted that for the Empire to thrive, it must evolve. The debate raged through the night. Zeffler, unable to sleep, looked out at the swirling galaxy. Change was coming, whether he wanted it or not. The galaxy turned. The final meeting was held in the grand hall of Karza. broadcast to every world. Zephyr stood before humanity's representatives and all of Valren leadership. He spoke quietly, but his words echoed through the chamber. The Empire has always believed strength is eternal, that to change is to die. But perhaps there is another way. If we are to thrive, we must evolve. Not conquer, but cooperate. Not rule, but build together. Some Valrene officers walked out in protest, vowing resistance. Others remained curious, hopeful, uncertain at that moment. An emergency. Call flashed across the chamber. An ancient space station was in crisis, its power grid failing, millions at risk. Chun and Yethman rushed to the command center. Using both Valrene technology and human modular systems, they stabilized the station, saving countless lives. The first test of the new alliance was a success. The news spread across the galaxy, Valrini, and humans, once enemies, now working side by side. In the months that followed, change swept the Empire. Technology advanced, peace treaties were signed, and a new era of exploration began. Some clung to the old ways, but most embraced the future. Admiral Zephyr watched as human and Valrene children played together on the Star Fortress. He finally understood. The strongest do not always rule the stars. Sometimes it is those who dare to imagine something better. And thus, the greatest empire in the galaxy was forever changed, not by conquest, but by the unstoppable power of new ideas.